Hello, the game has started. It's my opponent to go first. I've got a pretty non-bingo-y rack, but I've got a couple of good scoring tiles in the F and the K. And A and O certainly go well with those scoring tiles, so I shall be playing through this. I do want to split up the duplicate O's, or better still, play off both of them. Rec takes a K at the end. Let me quickly consider if I have a bingo with this rack. I think it's unlikely. Not seeing anything with the R, E, or C. Although I could play, I note I can play frock to get rid of the F and the K. And I could also play calf. I think what would be better, rather than hooking rec, would be to play over the top. So I do have calf here. Rack leave is terrible. 25 points isn't huge. Although I note I am retaining the O for going on top of the K. But surely I can do better than that. What about a play of just OF? What about a play of oof? Now my K can go on top of OR and the I can go on top of the O. Slightly fewer points, but this is a pretty good rack leave, and I'm retaining the K for hooking rec. It's slightly dangerous in that oof takes a lot of front hooks, but the board can't be kept ridiculously tight. I think on balance this is the play. Well, I think I draw all vowels, which wasn't great. Nothing goes in front of FE, so to get the KOR play, I would need to play across row F. And I suspect my opponent may interrupt that. So just looking at my rack, what's the best I can do? I could play Atok and rec, keeping EI. What else is there? And above the oof, I have oik, should that remain available. AEET isn't a terrible rack leave. Opponent does go in that spot and had both V's, fortunately restricted to just 22 points. My K spot remains available, but I don't think I have a play which uses it. I now have a better spot for Atok, and I can play at either side of Varv. This scores more for 23 points. Do I have anything through the V? Well, I have Evoke for 24 points, keeping ATI. Well, Evoke takes a lot of hooks, but K next to a double word square is also quite inviting. Let me pause and see if I can think through this a bit. I could play Kiev, 33 points, that's a lot better. And it provides nothing great for opponent. K and I are not particularly good floaters. And although this rack leave is vowel heavy, it's not impossible to imagine having a bingo next turn. I am going with this. Well, more vowels, but I also draw the S, which is good. Nice score for opponent. So what can I do to sort this rack out? I could play IO underneath cheese, keeping AEEST. If I draw just one consonant, I'll have a pretty strong rack. And the alternative to that, probably playing through the V. So something like Evo. And I could stick an E on the end of that, but I think the E is better off on my rack, with no floating E's on the board. Only 12 points, which is dismal. But this is better than the IO play. In terms of rack leave, IO scores more. Evo is opening up a new bingo lane, which is good because I consider this to be a bingo-y set. I can't deduce anything about opponent's rack. I think this is a really good 5-letter set, and it goes well with the C of rack. The score's terrible. Just looking to see if I can play underneath rec for more. Can't see a way of doing that. I think the best I can see is AE, but that's a similar number of points. I'm going with Evo. I draw I and O, which is a bit wretched. Fortunately, my opponent hasn't yet bingoed, so we're close in terms of score. And this is the real problem where you're fishing for a bingo and only getting 12 points. Not good. And the risk is that carries on for several turns, and it's something which top players don't do. And the way they get out of it is they cut their losses and wreck the rack, but this board is short of wrecking opportunities. Now, this is a 5-vowel rack. There are some 5-vowel 8, so I do need to consider the floating consonants, and in particular the R. 5-vowel 8s are very difficult to see. Not seeing anything with the R. What I do have is this, playing off the tiles I picked up, getting 15 points, creating a new lane, and this rack leave goes really well with the R and the C. And again, if I can draw just one consonant, I should be very close to a bingo. Great. I have Etesian, which plays in column 9, and I have Resonate in row B. Do I have anything down from the C? Well, I do. I have Cineast. Are there any better options to consider? Any double lanes? I don't think so. So Cineast for 83. And I draw no vowels. The Y acts as a quasi-vowel, and there are vowels on the board, so I think I'll be playing through this. I have jelly through either E of cineast, and either of those would be better than changing. Similarly, I have jolly through the O of probe. Or takes a J in front, but FE takes nothing in front, so I can't get the J to score twice in that spot. I don't think there are any AN words ending ANJ. So, wow, nice bingo by opponent, 61 points. He now leads by 10. Do I have anything better than jelly? Jelly's actually quite good. It gets doubled. It's just the duplicate N, which is suboptimal. But 30 points is good from a rack with no vowels. Is it best? I think it is. I draw the X. I have minx on my rack. And minx plays above the Y of jelly. Any other spots? Do I have anything which goes under the I? And I'm contemplating a play through the R, maybe getting the X tripled, but I don't have anything which works. So minx is quite nice because it takes nothing after it. This S of cineast is quite dangerous. I don't have an alternative play in mind. I could play minx above the O of Evo. That's sticking an X out in the open with multiple ways of scoring through it. The X in column 14 is, although it's wide open, if opponent uses it, he'll be creating opportunities for me in turn. Now, I have an N for going under chi, but I think the best I can do there is in, I-double-N. And at the moment, I'm minded to play off the X for score. Wow, all those vowels, and very few of them are currently out in the open. So what about this I? I could play minx and femme, and that's nice because I'm retaining the I. Not a tile I would ordinarily like to retain, but when it's the only vowel you've got, its value goes up. Great, and both those opportunities remain available. So I have minx for 28 and a nice rack cleave. It goes well with the O of probe, and E would improve it a lot. So that's 28. Let me just see what this scores. 36, 8 more points. Wow, really tempted with the points. Really tempted. I'm going with the points. And not great, just the one vowel. Still quite a few vowels out there. But one vowel better than none. And I do have a 40-point lead. Now my Z can go underneath FE. I could play zip. Fantastic. I can't now. Great bingo by opponent. So, what do I have? I have Fez. Wow, look at that. I'm close to an FR something something Z play. If I just had I and T instead of some of these things in the middle. Just checking I don't have anything. And I don't. So let me see what Fez scores here. That's 59. Pretty good. Opponent only got 66 for dailies. Any other big Z spots? Let me just put this back. So that was 59. Is there anywhere better? And I thought I was looking at something. Ah yes, do I have any ZI plays? Well, it would have to end ZI, and I'm not seeing one. And I thought I had something else that I was thinking about. Oh yes, well it was just whiz through the second I of dailies, but that scores about 20 points less than this. So Fez for 59. Fantastic, I draw the 3 vowels, so I now do have a balanced rack. Amazing bingo by opponent, 86 points. Straight out of the bag after playing daily, so back-to-back bingos for opponent. He now leads by 50. What can I do with this rack? It's not a million miles away from a bingo, but I'm not seeing one. And I need to keep the board open. No E, 4 E's to come. Minx has blocked all of the tiles in swathing as bingo floaters. Just looking to see if I can get a big play in row B, ending with W or P. Not seeing one. I'd rather play off the W than the P. It's less bingo-y. Matt Daly's play has really taken out this FE spot, otherwise my W could have gone there. My W can go here. I could play Tor, 3 A's to come, only 2 O's. I'd rather play off the O. But this isn't a bad rack. Pour in is quite nice. There is the floating, well, floating eye doesn't really help that hugely. Can I do better than Tor? Tor isn't providing anything great for opponent. This board really light on bingo lanes, thanks to Minx. But I am going with this. I'd like to slow down in terms of tiles that I'm playing, just because I'm behind, even though there's a blank out there. And I could catch my opponent without bingoing. I note that by retaining the P, that does go after Tsar. So, Tor for 33. Quite nice. Balanced, no duplicates. I'm not seeing a 7. Do I have a bingo with the X? I don't think so. And then really I'm just looking at the L and I of dailies. I'm only 17 behind. The L looks like it could be useful. That would be 2 L's. Not seeing anything. And the I also duplicates a tile on my rack. Not seeing anything, so I think the thing to do is to keep on scoring. And I do have an O for going underneath the J, and an A, but O probably more useful. But I haven't got a big score in that spot. Looking again in row B, I think it's probably just the F which would have worked. And those have gone. Nice score for opponent, 28 points. He is turning over tiles. But look at this, 3 U's to come. The remaining tiles not very bingo-y. Let me check the remaining vowels. 9 out of 18, so really balanced. I trail by 40. I'd like to keep the bingo lanes open, which suggests not playing parallel to dailies with my P. I'd quite like to create a new bingo lane. That is, I think, impossible. Unless I did something to open column 15, but then that would be so easily broken down. What I haven't considered is bingos through ED. Not seeing one this turn, but I should keep that in mind. 7 minutes on my clock. So P is my scoring tile. What do I do with it? Gosh. I'm reluctant to play off my A, and I'm thinking about gap because line or not a good rack leave. I could play Poa, which would, well, it would create a lane for the blank as an S. But I don't have the blank. This is just really tricky. So What about playing Pole? I quite like this rack leave. There is a G out there, so with my I, I've got ing words in column 13, albeit with a duplicate N. Pole is 20 points, which is pretty minimally good. And it's not interfering with bingo lanes. So I am going with this. Wow, look at that. That is a beautiful rack. Absolutely gorgeous. Can I bingo? 6 tiles left. Surely I can. I have Tranting in column 13. But where is my best lane? Probably through the L, with the L in exactly 3rd place. So does this assist? I have relating, and it doesn't matter if that takes an S. I don't think it does, because there are no S's and blanks out there. So I have relating. There's only a B and C out there, so I underneath this double word square, not massively dangerous. 66 points, that's going to take me to 408. I'll lead by just 13, and I'll have 6 tiles on my rack, so this does not guarantee me the win. Is there a better bingo lane I should consider? Let me just put this back. I do have 4 minutes. So Ed takes an S. So I could play Staring down here. 71 points. Just wondering if I have a play beginning 1 square higher. Well, I'm using the blank as an S, so what goes after U? Do I have a TS play? No. An RS play? No. An NS play? No. And a GS play? No. So this is it. Staring for 71, which is 5 more points than relating. Do I have a better bingo beginning with S? And this does appear nitty, but we are going to be so close after this that it's worth getting this right. The blank has to be the S, so I'm just looking at anagrams of staring which begin with S, and I don't think there are any, so I am going with this. Staring for 71. And I can now see the final tiles. 6 on my rack and 7 on opponents, and opponents got quite a balanced rack. I lead by 18 points, but that is a pretty slender lead. Opponent is likely to have 2 turns and I'm likely to have 1. I don't think I can go out in 1 with this rack. I can't see a 7. I would have L acute through an L. It's going to be close, but I think my opponent may have the edge. However, look at this. The H of swathing. My C can go above it. What do I have? So it would have to be CO. Wow, I don't think I actually have a 2 or 3 letter or any play which works in that spot. That is annoying. Not seeing anything. Close to Cotto's onto the X. I almost certainly will need to play the C to avoid losing 6 points on count back. This is not a great board. What about the spot above OR? 3 minutes on my clock, 11 on opponents. I really need to use his time for my thinking. Well, I'm not going to have much of that. Opponent now takes the lead by 7. He's got Deet. Can he go out with that? Probably, somewhere. What can I do? Where can I play my C? I have 2 minutes on my clock. Do I have an X play which goes through the N? I think I do. I think I have Exeunt for 26. Opponent's then got Deet in column 15, so 26. I trail by 7. This will put me 19 into the lead. I'll lose 8 on countback. Opponent needs 11. He'll get 15 for Deet and ET. This is a losing play. 2 minutes on my clock. Is there a C play through the X? That would be enough. EX. Not seeing a play. What about OX? Not seeing anything. Where else can I score? What about down here? What about Cogue? That's 27 points. Wow, this might be it. I trail by 7, so this will put me up by 20. I lose 4. Opponent needs 16 to draw, 17 to win. Can he do that? Ah, he's got Deet above Minx. That's his out. Let me just check that was more than 17. 21. Painful. Well, opponent, I think, probably does know that he's got this 1. Have I definitely not got an out? What about a play through L and R? 50 seconds on my rack. Not seeing anything through LR. Any other fancy spots? What about a play through the N or N and I? Not seeing anything. Levo takes nothing after it. 27 seconds on my clock. Well, the best I've seen is Exeunt, so this is going down. And I have CO, but I'm not going to have the opportunity of playing that. I think opponent has T'd and Ed for the win. I lead by 19. Not going to be enough. And the final score, 439 for me, 446 for my opponent, a winning margin of 7 points. So well done to my opponent. Let's see what I missed. Wow, what a game, what a finish. It was my opponent to go first. He played rack, and I had a tricky rack, and in the end I went with oof, and I like that. Opponent plays Varv, and I have a lot of vowels, and I like Kiev, not seeing anything better. Horrible rack for opponent, but he gets a decent score for cheese, and I'm still struggling with vowels. Vi quite nice for 14. What do I do? So I play Evo for 12. Yeah, keeping AEIST. How does AEIST compare to EOST? It's more vowely, which is bad. However, AEIST does have a certain magic. I would think that those rack leaves are actually quite similar. And even if Vi edges Evo in terms of scoring rack leave, I feel happier with AEIST over EOST, so I still like my play. Opponent's rack plays Robe, so just putting this back. He played Robe, retaining the P for probe, so that was a nice setup play. My rack, look at this, nothing over 20, dismal. So I play IO for 15, and I still like this rack leave. I think AEIST is a lot better than EIS. Definitely more than 3 points better, and possibly 10 points better. Opponent's rack. Wow, some fancy stuff going on there. He played dip for 27, but G3. Wow, Perio did in column 3, making proof and re and through E and IO. Pretty tricky to see. And finally my rack does mature into a bingo, and I have Cineast or Cineaste and other bingos available. I lead by 50. And a great spot for my opponent, because look at this, he's got a pretty unbalanced rack, but there is a bingo there. And he spots it. And now I trail by about 10. I have jelly for 30. And what a great pickup having bingoed. But no bingo here. That looked like there could be one. Opponent plays Mew. And I have Minx for 36, which ended up blocking the board. And I thought would lose me the game, but I did find a way back in. Now, opponent's rack. And he plays dailies. And I trail by 20. But I have a big score with Fez. And opponent's got Swathing, which was a great spot, the only playable bingo. And now things are tricky because I trail by 50 and the board is fairly tight. So I played Tor for 33, and I like that. I could have got 3 more points, but it's turning over tiles, and I think Proin is quite a nice 5-letter set. Opponent plays Annoy. Wow, in jelly. That is nice. 34 points and a decent rack leave. I never considered that. So I played Pole for 20, which doesn't appear down here, but does have merit. It's not massively behind in terms of score. And the rack leave of Rain, probably better than any rack leave on offer here. But 20 for Pole, 34 for In Jelly. I don't think Rain is 14 points better than ALOPR. But in fact, the rack leaves may actually be quite similar. Now, opponent has 2 of the U's. Plays and I have this Dream rack. I trail by 50. And I play Staring for 71. And I don't think anything is obviously better. So we are now in the end game. The bag is empty. I lead by 18. Opponent plays Daub. And I trail by 7. Can I win? So these are the 2 plays I considered, Cogue and Exeunt. Cogue gave opponent Deet, and Exeunt gave opponent Teed. So both of those top 2 are losing plays. What else do we have? K15 Togue. Well, that's no better than Cogue, and in fact worse. L12. There was... and it's not parallel, it's down from the H. That doesn't block Deet. So no, I don't think there are any winning plays. And Examiner 1 doesn't currently work. So I think Exeunt was the best I could do. And finally, opponent has Teed for the win. So absolutely fantastic game. Really, really close at the end. Just 7 points separating me from my opponent. So well done once again to my opponent. I hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.